Hello and welcome everybody. Today we're talking about the question, should you grade poker chips? Would you grade your poker chips? Now, I have my mixed thoughts, but I want you to think about it. Write in the comments below, what do you think about the idea of grading poker chips? Now, some background. We come from a world here. Should I just roll some stuff in here? So we live in a world where you can get cards graded, okay? This is one of my favorite, the big unit, Randy Johnson. One of my favorite pitchers. I happen to collect weird things that aren't necessarily like valuable. I don't collect things because they're valuable. I collect players I like. Like I loved watching Randy Johnson when I was, young in the 90s. And it was just fun to watch, happy memories. And I love this picture. I like the emotion set. So, if I'm going to buy a card, rather than just buying raw cards, sometimes I'll buy a graded card if it's a good value, what I feel like is a good value. So grading gives me an idea of exactly what I'm getting, and I'll buy 9s all the time. I have some kicking around here somewhere, here in a second. And so those are two things for me. Number one, I collect eccentric things, and number two, I like to know what I'm getting. Okay, now how much value does that have? In the case of this, it's like 3x. So 3 times the price of a raw card, pay for a PSA, what is this, a 10? Oh yeah, 10, well yeah, 3 times for a card. To me, that's worth it. Now, it's not going to be worth it for everybody. So let's roll it. So here's some raw cards, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, these are some raw cards. Here's a Matt Wolf I purchased on eBay. You can see how much I paid for it. They sold it for the same price. Plus shipping, this actually came out to like $36 after shipping and tax. Taxes are, it's going crazy. And these are, I think this was a box, and I bought this on eBay as well. But so I buy raw cards all the time, but I like to buy graded cards lots of times, especially with like some older cards. Here, let me show you what we have here. So here's some PSA 9s. Okay, this is one of my favorite Jordans. I have several of these. Had the opportunity to buy a 9 in mint condition, pretty good price, so I purchased it. This is one of my favorite. That's how I remember Jordan, flying through the air with that face. He's dunking. Okay, I love that. I love that card. Here's LeBron James with the chalk throw. Okay, paper card. I like to know what I'm getting. 9 mint, good condition. It's not going to show up. And I've had this happen. You buy a raw card on eBay and it just shows up with a crease on the back, and you're like, seriously? Come on. Contact me. Give me my money back, we'll give you 50% of your money back. Those negotiations, love those. And these are just some basketball cards. So either way, like especially with these older paper cards, I like knowing exactly what I'm getting, even if it's a 9 or an 8 or a 7. I don't care. Just cards I like. Again, those are kind of two of my more mainstream players there, LeBron and Jordan. So now back to the question. What about poker chips? Would you pay 3x for a Jack Cincinnati graded? Like for example, NGC. My understanding is NGC will slab poker chips. I think they grade them as well. If you got like a 70 on a poker chip, which I don't know if that's how possible. It seems like that would be impossible. But if you did, would you pay more for it? My answer is I would not for a Jack 1. But you introduce something like a Mapes 25 or a Mapes 50 or 100 or whatever. A Mapes 100 for graded, like perfect gem mint. Number one, I'm a little bit suspicious about it. And number two, I would pay a premium for a high grade, even like 60s, like a 68 or something. Mapes 100. I would pay, substantially more for a graded Mapes chip, or like a Bellagio OG, like one of the original Bellagio chips, like 1000. So it's some more things to this. So NGC grades coin, so I could get this graded. It would grade poorly, but my Bellagio Silver Strike, okay? Plus, I like having it in the capsule. I think I have one. I have a few where the capsule's broke, or I don't have the capsule, so I put them in these things. I put them in my little cases. And so I kind of slab things myself, kind of with this, just tape. It's not that serious, it's not like NGC would slab them. But I like to do this with certain chips. And it's funny because somebody commented, who is it? You can go back and watch. But when I talk about this chip in the video, somebody left an observation. They're like, this slab is worth more than the denomination on the chip, right? So it's whatever, $2 and something for one slab. But the chip says $1 on it. Even though last time I checked, these were selling for $5. I have no idea what they're selling for now, the Stardust Bud Jones. So it's like $5 for a chip, and you put it in a $2 case, whoop-de-doo. This has sentimental value. I happen to like this chip. This is just an awesome chip, right? So I show it to friends. I slab it for my own reasons, not for value, right? And would I send this in to be graded? Like I said, with the jacks, I wouldn't send any of these in to be graded, only like the high value stuff. I wouldn't even send this in to be graded, again, because it's a silver strike. It comes in little plastic capsules. So for the most part, 99% of things I would not grade. But there's that part of me that wants, like I have some $40 silver strikes kicking around somewhere. I want to say it was the Mirage. I don't remember. Was it the Mirage? It was one of the Steve Wynn properties. Was it the Bellagio? I don't remember. Anyway, I'll find them at some point and make a video. But, so if I took, like a really rare chip that I really like a Mapes, maybe in the future something like a Shania Twain Caesars 5, or a Gwen Stefani, or a No Doubt Hard Rock $5 chip, or something. Yeah, pick one. Britney Spears, pick one. In the future, would I, if I'm going to purchase more of those, would I pay a premium for a graded version? The answer is yes, I would, on certain chips, very finite number of chips. And I think what's going to happen in the future, this is my prediction, I think we're going to see an increased number of chips graded. And I think it's going to start out like I'm describing it. It's going to be the premium chips, the rare chips, the old chips, where they're going to be slabbed at least. But I think what's going to happen is, like with sports cards, you're going to get things like this. Like, this is not a valuable card. And right now, PSA, at the making of this video, it's early June. What's it? June 1st, 2021. PSA currently has shut down their grading service, or most of them. They have like the economy one where you're paying more than like $100. You would not pay $100 to get this card graded these days. And so instead of just sending all your, I've seen people just send in their Pokemon, like bulk Pokemon, like Weedles, right? Why are you sending 50 Weedles to PSA to be graded? Why are you? But people do that because we've hit this graded junk, this junk graded era in sports cards where you can get anything graded in your sports card world. I think that's going to eventually happen with poker chips as well. I think you're going to have people who are trying to flip these $1 jacks or something similar to these, just $1 chips, $1 chips. They increased in value to $5, and they're going to say, all right, how much is grading? $20. And if we grade these, can we get $80 for them? At some point, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I would say it would be far in the future. That could happen. And then we're going to get a junk graded or slabbed era of poker chips. So for me, I don't have that much interest in graded poker chips, but there is some interest, especially with some of the higher end or more rare chips. Same with like silver strikes or other tokens. It'd be fun to get those graded, authenticated. So, it helps eliminate fraud. You're not just getting some silly painted chip that's been spray painted to look like, and with a sticker on it to make it look like a rare chip, which is pretty rare, but I have seen pictures of it. I'm not sure how real those pictures are, but if you delve deep enough, you can see it. I actually saw a video about them making like counterfeit real casino chips, which is again scary. And you don't want to end up buying one of those on the open market. So a graded chip, especially with the rare stuff or the valuable stuff like a $1,000 chip or a $5,000 chip, you're dropping $5,000 for a chip like an OG Bellagio. I mean, they weren't sold as obsolete chips for $2. I mean, you had to go and pay face value for those, like OG, like the Las Vegas chips, because they don't destroy, or they are required to destroy obsolete chips in Las Vegas. Those are incredibly valuable. And if you're going to drop that much money, it's good, in my opinion, to have those authenticated and graded. Those are my opinions. Again, we'll see what happens in the graded chip world. Very few chips are being sent to NGC. That's the only one that I know of that will slab them. I don't know if they grade them. I've seen slabbed NGC chips appear on eBay before. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had a chip graded? Are there other companies that grade chips? And what do you think about the future of grading? Is it going to end up like sports cards? Interested to know your comments. The other interesting thing, all right, so one more thing. Chips are something that people play with. It's like collectible card games, right? Like I mentioned Pokemon earlier with Weedles. Like you grade a Charizard, all right, fine. But you grade a Weedle, I have some questions about your motivation for doing that. It seems kind of weird to grade some of these common cards. That's how I feel about these. Like, these are like the Weedles of the poker chip world. They're meant to be played and handled. One of the best things about chips is you can shuffle them and handle them. And if they're graded in a slab, like a square slab, it's kind of hard to do that. Anyway, looking forward to reading your comments. Those are my thoughts. I think, generally, no, but I can see value in that idea. So, as usual, if you want to support this channel, you can visit me on Patreon. I'm accepting general support. I have some behind the scenes videos and pictures up on Patreon as well. You can support me by visiting my Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe.